What do you do when you're working with a brand new dog? Well, the very first thing we work on is a marker word that says he's making the right choice. Yes. The word comes first, and then the food gets delivered. Yes. And pretty quickly, we can introduce it as making eye contact. Yes. He's done a stay. He can move around. He actually doesn't know what a stay is yet. Charlie. Yes. Good boy. But I do want to introduce that when he hears the word, the treat comes to him. Yes. Good boy. Because then we can really quickly start introducing it to new things. Like getting him to go on a cot. Yes. He's never done this before. We're going to start introducing break, even though he has no idea what it means. But we can already tell him he's doing a good job, even though he's barely been here 24 hours. Yes. Good. Break. We can also do the same exercise, practicing the side we want him to heel on. Looking up at me. If he needs a little help, I can go, yes! And practice getting him to look up at me from the side. We can move around. We can do the same thing outside. Yes! Once he builds a little bit of ability inside, we can do the same thing outside and pretty quickly get a dog who's more able to focus on you, yes, than what's going on around him. What a good puppy. What a good puppy. This way. Ow. Yes. Beautiful. Let's go over the first cue that we're working on today because it's the easiest. There should have been a short before this that showed what we were doing with some engagement training. But for a place, there are 4 stages to learning any command. And the first one, we have to get him to be able to do the action first before we add a word to it. Because if I just start throwing out the word place and down when he has no idea what it means, I'm muddying the meaning because I'm asking for it when there's no clear ability for him to do it. So the very first stage is that acquisition phase. So I've got a snack in my hand. I'll actually show you what it looks like. This is the easiest way to hold it in your hand so that he's not biting at your fingers. See, he can kind of lick at it and I can guide him around, and that's called luring. Yes. We can use that to teach quite a few things. So in this case, I've got a mix of his dry food and some ham that was in the fridge. That way he's not solely getting ham and getting used to just that. So when we switch to dry food later, it's not a total shock for him. So we're going to lure him on. And as you'd seen, he's already done this a couple times. It's a little slow right now. We're waiting for that sit. Yes. And then my thumb goes away and I say break because he's all done with the command. Now, in the future, you won't always have to move with the word break. I do find it helps puppies a lot. But the goal right now is to get it so that 9 out of 10 times he can get onto the place easily. So right now you can see he's kind of like slowly doing it. Gets a little distracted. Yes. Break. Until he gets to the point where it's pretty much habit getting onto it and doing it exactly like that, we're not going to do anything differently. I'm going to stand roughly in the same spot. We're going to do the thing the same way until he gets the idea. And that might take him 10 minutes. It might take him 30 minutes. It might take him 2 hours. It always depends on the dog. German Shepherds are pretty smart, and puppies pick things up surprisingly fast. But we'll see how he does. The biggest thing we want to avoid from the get-go, yes, break, is him losing motivation in training. Because when he goes home, I want him to work just as well for you as he works for me. And part of that is making sure that I keep his motivation up and I make sure you know how to keep his motivation up. So we'll talk about that a lot throughout training because when we're working with a puppy, we don't have accountability other than the relationship and physically being able to grab him. So being able to grab his leash or his collar and say, hey, nope, I need you to do this. Other than that, all we've got is our relationship to hold that accountability. So that has to be first and foremost. When it comes to dogs, yes, safety is priority number one. That is top break. First and foremost, above absolutely everything. If I have to tackle a brand new dog to get something he's not supposed to have that could kill him out of his mouth, I will do that because safety is priority number one. Then comes relationship. So if anything that you're doing training-wise is going to affect your relationship negatively, you shouldn't be doing it because we want that relationship to be top priority. If that is not there, then training means nothing. Which is one of the reasons why we focus a lot on relationship building exercises in the first couple days, which is also why I tend to hand feed my training dogs, because we don't have that relationship built up yet. You guys have plenty of time with him. He knows you. He understands you. That doesn't necessarily mean he respects you. That's one of the hard things with training. Yes, is your dog can love you and not respect you. And I haven't seen enough with you guys to go one way or the other. Break. But that is one thing that's going to have to be a priority when you get back, is making sure that if you say something, he listens, which means holding him to it. You can't get respect if people are just going to blow right over you. So if you set a rule, that rule has to be solid and respected every single time, which means you've got to know how to enforce it. Ready? Again. He's figuring out what he can do. Yes. Good. Break. So if you get to a point in training, obviously you've got my number and you've got refreshers that are free for his lifetime, but just so that you've got things to come back to. If he's falling behind on his place and you get to a point where you're like, he's not listening when I do it, this is what you fall back to. Exactly this, what we're doing right here, right now, where you're helping guide him into it. And then soon we're going to be adding what we call our 3Ds. So working those back up again, the same way that we worked them in the beginning, if he falls back. And that's exactly what I'll tell you at a refresher if we ever need one. So we'll do it one more time and then I'll end the video there and I'll show you what he's looking like later in the day. Puppies usually work for about 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and then it's time for a break. So my foot shifted the place cut a little bit, so you can see he's a little bit more hesitant. Just a little bit. Yes! Good. Hold it for a second. Break! So there, even though he hasn't added the word yet, I can already start introducing just the tiniest little bit of duration, just 2 seconds. That's it. But that's what it's looking like at the beginning of the day. So I'll show you what it's looking like later. Yes. Yes. Awesome. So it's later in the day. We've done some more practice, and here's what it's looking like. So right now, we're right here where I can just kind of, yes, leisurely move my hand over here. Break. And he's got the idea of getting off. So now that 9 out of 10 times I can just kind of, yes, just briefly cue him, just barely move my hand, and he knows exactly what I want. Break. Oh, that was so good. Now we can add a word. So, Charlie, place. Yes. We have not done that a single time. Yes. Usually, they need a little bit of help. Break. Adding that little bit of a hand motion the first time, but nothing in my hand. Charlie, place. Yes. He recognizes the game we're playing, that every time I put my hand over there, break. That's what I want, and that is beautiful. So one thing I'm doing with the biting at this point in time is, number one, I'm not addressing it a whole lot, where if he goes to grab my hand, I'm not going, oh goodness, stop it, oh my goodness, stop, because that just fuels him more. If he's doing it incessantly, there are some things, I'll take my hands away, things like that. Charlie, place. Yes. Yes. Good. Break. There. So from the very first time he's doing it right. But like I was saying with grabbing my hands, yes. I can also do things like introducing my hands around him and praising him for not biting on them. For that, I'm giving him tiny little pieces. Yes. I don't want to teach him to lick my hand, so I'm not doing that a ton. But that's one option you have, is when he's being nice around your hands and you're moving them around his head and he's not biting on you. Yes. It's one option. Place. Yes. Good. Break. Also added a break to the sit, so sit. Yes. Break. Good job, puppy. He said, don't touch me, I'm focusing. You see how when I pet him, his head kind of throws back, almost to kind of knock my hand out of the way. Some dogs will do that just naturally if they're super excited at that moment, but that can also be a, hey, stop touching me. Please don't touch me. And right now that is 100% it, because he's like, I am focused on snacks. I do not care about your pets. Don't touch me. I am focusing. So we talked a little bit about luring. So here's the other one we can work on. It's luring him into a down. Especially for German Shepherds, we want to make sure that his butt goes down. Whoop. Let's get your attention back here. Yes. So if he's a little excited right now, we're trying something different. We can always praise him halfway. So that's kind of where luring and that shaping I had mentioned meet, where I'm guiding him into it, but I'm also paying him for getting closer. Yes. So he moved his paws. Yes. I can praise him a couple times in the spot. Break. Good job. Let's do it again. And this is his first time working on this today, so you're seeing what it looks like to start it brand new. So from a sit is where I like to start, where it goes straight down to the ground and then pull out in an L shape. Oh, so if he gets a little frustrated a couple times in a row, then I'll do another set of beautiful. Yes. Perfect. So we got it that second time. Break. Good job, puppy. Yes. Good. Break. Good. Good job. Yeah, my hands smell like bologna. He said, "Gimme them snacks." He said, "Gimme them snacks." So with all of the stuff that we're working on with luring, and like I mentioned, having that sit next to me, where he can sit, yes, in that spot. Now we can also start taking a step or two with me. Sit. Yes. Break. And that is the absolute basics start of a heel, where all we're doing is we're getting him to take 1, 2, yes, and sit next to me. And I'm not holding him too hard to those sits because it's his very first day. He's not perfect at it yet, and that is okay. Here you go. 1, 2. Yes. Break. And one thing you'll notice with everything, and I want you to pay attention to this across the board with all of the videos that you see from me, is watch how I'm communicating with him. When I ask him for something, I'm typically just asking once, and I'll put in there, if I'm asking multiple times, why I'm doing that. But for the most part, you're just going to ask once. You're not going to clutter everything else around it by saying, "Oh, come here, Charlie, why don't you place over here? Can you please come place over here? Because, can you come place over here?" He gets super confused. But if I go, "Charlie, place." Yes. He's got the idea. Dogs work in single words. One word, one meaning. Break. So if I ask him to place on something, I'm going to put my hand over it to say, "This is the one I want you on." If your hand isn't over anything, then he can't place. He's got to be place a specific, yes, spot. And right now we're working on this place cot, but we'll also work on the little mat that you gave us and stuff like that. Break. Beautiful. But same thing will go with a DOWN, where DOWN will mean I want you to lay down, not get down, get off. One word, one meaning. Down means I want you to lay down on the ground and stay until I'm released. And that will be the key for all of these stable commands. So the sit, down, and place will all be stay until he's released. There is no reason to ask him for a sit and immediately release him unless you're handing him a treat, in which case it is perfectly fine. Yeah, did you find the water you spilled? Sit. Yes. Break. You can do that. There's no reason that you can't just ask him for a split second of a command, but you're always going to release him afterwards. Ha, cutie. Yes. And by adding in random times when his eye contact gets him rewarded, he figures out a lot faster that it's rewarding to engage with me, which means he'll offer it more often.